I thought leadership was easy. Many times I failed. I got so frustrated. But I began to realize that I was just relying on my own strength. Then, the Lord showed me how to rise up again. He made me realize that I can do all things, not by might, nor by power, but by His Spirit. The Lord didn't just save me and sanctify me, but He has also sent me to lead others to Him.
Well, welcome and good morning to the 10-Minute Word Ministry. I am Cedric LaFleur. I'm your official this morning, and I'm excited to be here with you this morning. I just want to tell you, I have on my shirt, Connect to God. I just want to tell you that this morning. You know, this is part 2 of a 3-part series, and the title is Talent is Never Enough. See, in the book, A Talent is Never Enough by John Maxwell, he communicates that while talent is important, there are millions of talented people who have the ability, but they never get to use it and they never reach their full potential because they lack the characteristics that separate successful people from unsuccessful people. Those who neglect to make the right choices and to release and maximize their talent continually underperform. See, these choices may be as simple as being punctual, giving effort, showing patience, and being unselfish. None of these choices require talent, but they all enhance talent. See, I'm going to review with you again today a few choices and characteristics that enhances a person's talent and advances them in life, along with some biblical examples of men and women who illustrate that characteristic. You see, there are two kinds of people in this world: those who want to get things done and those who don't want to make mistakes. Now, let me share the first example with you, and I call it preparation positions your talent. See, consider Moses in Exodus 2 and 4. See, he grew up in Pharaoh's palace in Egypt and was given the benefits of all the education and resources he needed to succeed in his adult life, except one small ingredient. God had to prepare his heart. See, Moses killed an Egyptian who was beating a Hebrew slave. Check out Exodus 2 and 12, right? God sent Moses into the wilderness for 40 years where he could prepare him for the job of leading the Hebrews out of slavery in Egypt and into Canaan. You see, think about this. God took 40 years to get this man ready for his mission. The job was too big for a novice. See, God made Moses' head, his hands, and his heart ready before turning him loose. He had to make sure that his head, his hands, and his heart was ready before turning him loose. See, this is a great example, but let's look at another example where talent is not enough. I call this one, practice sharpens your talent. I'm going to say that again. Practice sharpens your talent. See, consider Daniel. In Daniel 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10, Daniel was a young man when his country was overtaken by the Babylonians. While in a foreign land, he never let the practices that made him such a sharp young leader. You see, he never left the practices that made him such a sharp young leader. One of his gifts was the ability to interpret dreams and visions. See, all through the years, he had the opportunity to practice using his gifts. And we know practice makes perfect, right? Well, let me make a correction on that. Perfect practice makes perfect. You see, and Daniel continued to practice. One king after another needed his talent, and Daniel was always ready. One king after another needed his talent, and Daniel was always ready. See, one person after another may need your talent. Are you always ready? It could be somebody on your team. It could be somebody in your house. It could be a friend. Are you ready? Daniel was always ready. See, talent is never enough. See, late in his adult years, Daniel was called in to help a king who didn't even know him. Fortunately, he wasn't rusty at the practice of leading a king. Are you rusty at the practice of leading people? Are you rusty at the practice of helping someone overcome? You see, Daniel was always ready. And because of his sharp talent, he attracted still another king to his great God. See, once you have success, you're going to want to have another success and another and another and another. That's just what happens, folks. Talent is not enough. One of the paradoxes of life is that the things that initially make you successful are rarely the things that's going to keep you successful. So that means you got to keep getting better every day. You have to keep adding tools to the toolbox. You have to keep raising your level of success a little bit every day. Let me share a third example with you. I call it perseverance sustains your talent. Ooh, I love this one. Perseverance sustains your talent. That means you got to be able to stand in there. You got to have grit. You got to have resilience. You got to be able to bounce back. Ooh, now let's look at this. Consider Joseph in Genesis 41. Joseph was given a dream from God as a young man. You were given a dream from God as a young person. What is your dream? Are you realizing your dream? Are you living your dream? Are you sustaining your dream? Are you persevering through the challenges so that you can reach your dream? See, Joseph was given a dream from God as a young man. He was gifted to be a leader, and one day he'd have the opportunity to play that role. Ooh, woo. You see, one day you're going to have the opportunity to play that role of a leader as well. What he didn't know was there would be incredible obstacles to face along the way. Now, I know you have obstacles come along your way, right? You know what's happened in your life, right? But let me tell you what, those obstacles increases the journey. It makes the reward even better when you get there. You just have to persevere. And what I said, the title of this is Perseverance Sustains Talent. See, Joseph's brothers were jealous of him and they treated him very abusively. Later, they sold him into slavery. He served in Egypt until Potiphar's wife tried to seduce him. When he refused to violate her marriage, she blackmailed him and had him thrown in prison. Think about all the obstacles and challenges people have put you through. Think about all the obstacles the roadblocks people have put in your way. But this man was blackmailed and he was thrown in prison. Soon he was forgotten about. Joseph eventually got to use his talent to lead when Pharaoh needed him. Just when he was needed, he was called upon. Just when you're needed, you're going to be called upon. But only after persevering through the severe hardship was he called upon. See, what would have made most people bitter simply made Joseph better. Let me say that again. What would have made most people bitter simply made Joseph better. See, talent is not enough. You see, you understand what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Talent is not enough. In fact, I want you to type that in the comments. If you understand it, if you get it, say that for me. Talent is not enough. Talent is not enough. You have to persevere. You have to have grit. You have to have the ability to push through those difficult times. You have to have the ability to bounce back. You have to have resilience. You see, when you push through the difficult times, you're going to get to the great times. You just have to stick through it. See, the toughest thing about success is that you've got to keep on going. to get there. Talent is only the starting point. You've got to keep working that talent. You see, Michael Jordan had talent when he was younger, but he got cut anyway. But he had to keep going. You know you have some talent that somebody told you you weren't ready. Remember that time somebody told you you weren't good enough? They said, oh no, you need something else. You're not ready yet. You're not good enough. You don't have what we need, right? But what you have to tell yourself is, I'm already good enough. I'm already ready. And then you have to keep on going. Don't let the foolishness that people tell you get in your head and stop you from reaching your dreams and your goals. So I shared with you 3 examples. The first one was the example of Moses, right? Preparation positions your talent. The next one was Daniel. Practice sharpens your talent. The next one was Joseph. Perseverance sustains your talent. Now I'm going to share the last one, and then I'm going to get on out of your way. The last one, I call it courage test your talent. Now you're going to really love this one, right? So I had to dig deep in the Bible to get this one. And oh man, this one is really good. Courage test your talent. Consider Deborah in Judges 4. I told you we had to go deep in there to get this one. Consider Deborah in Judges 4. See, this woman possessed amazing talent to plan strategy and lead people and lead the people of Israel. In her story, however, she faced an intimidating enemy in the army of Canaan. See, they were ruthless, possessing 900 iron chariots. They seemed invincible. You know, when you come up against that foe, you thought it was probably invincible. You weren't going to be able to overcome this, right? Just when you think that you can, you got to keep going. And talent is not enough, but perseverance is going to get you through. Courage is going to get you through. You got to have it. You got to stick with it. They were ruthless. They possessed 900 iron chariots, right? They seemed invincible, but Deborah recognized, however, that this was the number one problem to be solved for the oppressed Israelites. They had to solve this problem, right? So she called on some help. She reached out to a friend. She reached out to that prayer line. She picked up and phoned a friend. She called Barak, the commander of Israel's army, and gave him a plan to defeat the Canaanites. Even Barak, a soldier, feared facing them. You see? So even that call a friend may fear facing them. You just have to be ready to have that courage to keep going. And he refused to help unless Deborah went along with him. So sometimes you got to call your friend up, but then you got to take them along with you. You got to help them get that courage. This was the ultimate test for her. Now, here's the question. Do you trust your plan enough to use it in the face of a bigger enemy? Oh, man. Now I'm going to ask you that question again. Do you, out there in Facebook and YouTube land, do you trust your plan enough to use it in the face of a bigger enemy? See, she did, and her talents helped set her people free. You see what happens when you have the courage to stand up? When you have the courage to say, this is not right. When you have the courage to say, not on my watch. When you have the courage to say, I'm going to stop it right here. When you have the courage to say, I'm going to keep going. I know that I can make this happen. And you know what, enemy? Get out of my way because I'm coming right through you. I'm not going to go around you. I'm coming through you because God gave you the power. He gave you the ability to do it. You just have to have the courage to live into it. You see? See, if you're interested in success, it's easy to set your standards in terms of other people's accomplishments and then let other people measure you by those standards. But the standards you set for yourself are always important. They're always important. They should be higher than the standards anyone else would set for you. See, because in the end, you have to live with yourself and judge yourself and feel good about yourself. I'm going to say that again, right? Your standard should always be higher than the standards that anyone else could set for you, because in the end, you have to live with yourself. You have to judge yourself and you have to feel good about yourself. And the best way to do that is to live up to your highest potential. Live up to your highest potential. So type that in the comments for me, if you will. Live up to my highest potential. Live up to my highest potential. Please type that in the comments for me, right? Live up to my highest potential. So set your standards high and keep them high. The standard is the standard. You never lower your standard for anybody. The standard is the standard. If it's for your mama, keep the standard high. If it's for your daddy, keep the standards high. So your sister, your brother, your cousin, your grandmama, keep the standard high. The standard is the standard. See, too many people want to lower their standard to meet the goal. No, keep the standard here. So set your standard high and keep it high, even if you think no one else is looking. Even if you think no one else is looking. See, somebody out there will always notice, even if it's just you. I'm going to say that last part again, and then I'm going to get out of your way. Somebody out there will always notice that you're keeping the standard high, even if it's only you. Thank you for tuning in to the 10-Minute Word this morning. The 10-Minute Word Ministry is a group designed to bring hope, inspiration, motivation while delivering the word of Jesus Christ. See, we believe he is our Lord and Savior. We believe he died for our salvation. We believe he is the ultimate leader. We believe because we believe. Now, I'm going to see you next Sunday again at 9:30 Central Time for another version of the 10-Minute Word. Thank you guys very much, and go have a great rest of your day.